Now it's the same thing, except this time I have three states. Actually, this is number 5. So recession, normal, boom. Probabilities are, oh, I'm in the wrong place. 15, 60, 25. And expected rate in those are negative 12, 10, and 27. Just read off the mean. Mean is another term for expected return. Okay? I mean, in real life, there may be more states, but for our exam purposes, there won't be more than 4. Let me see if my doctor is saying anything. Nothing important. Important, but no time constraint on it. Because she's dealing with filling my medical leave application stuff. Now let's do these. I'm gonna do these first, then we'll do a little bit more complicated stuff later. Calculating returns and standard deviation. Based on the following information, calculate the expected returns and standard deviation for the two stocks. Okay, recession, normal, boom, that doesn't change. Probabilities are 10, 50, 40. I'm gonna do A first. 2%, 10%, 15%. So for A, it's 11.2. Okay. All you have to do. Oh, is it also asking for standard deviation? That's also there, 3.87. Okay. That's all you need to do. For B, probabilities are the same. All I have to do is change the uh, returns in each state, negative 30, 18, and 31. Oops. Mean is 1840, but standard deviation is much higher, right? That's because these are so variable. Even though expected return is higher, so is the risk. Remember, you read of standard deviation from here, the black and white. And let's do number 8. This time I have 3 states, but I also have 2 stocks. Oh no, I'm sorry. 20% in G, 35 in J, and 45 in K. We know the expected returns. What is the portfolio's expected return? No, it's easy to do. We've done these before. Let me copy it here. Let me see, G, J, K. Not that it matters, but let's do the amounts. 20, 35, 45. Expected returns are 9.6, 10.9, 14.3, 12.17. Now, how do I interpret my numbers? Portfolio expected return will always be higher than the minimum, but lower than the maximum. Okay, in terms of individual expected values, because it is a type of average. So, independent of the weights, where the regular average is equal weighted, uh, the average will always be high somewhere between the minimum and the maximum. That's the only interpretation we can make. Let's do this. All right, now this is a little bit more complicated, but we do have a template for this too. Let's copy this one. Now I have 3 stocks. I know the probabilities of each state. Using those, I can calculate what you want to call expected returns for each stock. And if I'm doing equal weighted, I know the weights as well. But the variance or standard deviation doesn't work that way. That's why we did another template. Okay. This again handles up to 6 assets. Let's do this. Boom bust. Let's get rid of these. Boom bust probabilities are 60 and 40. In fact, let me make this slightly different color so that we can distinguish how many assets I have. 3. Of course, I mean I'll give I'll leave it like this. If the exam has different number of states, different number of stocks, all we have to do is adapt, right? These are portfolio returns. These are calculated. Okay. Yeah. Of course, you're going to have this. As soon as I finish this session and render the videos, which shouldn't take more than an hour. I'll post the video link, and I'll send you guys an email with the link for the video, as well as the Excel attachments that I've used in the review. Yeah, either way, you're going to have these templates available as attachments in the exam, just like before. Okay, let's go back to this. All right. I have 3 stocks, so I'm going to get rid of these 2. So under Boom, stock A has, these stocks have 18, 4, and 31. Under Bust, 3, 16, and negative 11. So the return of the portfolio during the boom time, assuming we haven't done the weights. In fact, I should make these slightly different color. Black. We're going to do the amounts, then we can calculate the weights. If you do an equally weighted portfolio, which means, oops, not that one. There's no amount on the portfolio. Let's call this 100. Yes, yes, I'll get you in soon. My cat is outside and crying out to be let in. Okay. Oh, she's here. Okay. You have food, you have water. Shut up. She wants, he wants some tender loving care. And once you have all the inputs, you can actually read off the mean, the variance, and the standard deviation right from there. Okay. Any questions on this? All right. Let's see. What second. This is one thing. I mean, I've done these things for the last 20 years. It should be muscle memory, but I completely draw a blank sometimes after this surgery and stuff. Oh, part B, what is the variance of a portfolio invested 20% each in A and B and 60% in C? Now all I have to do is change these, right? And just read off the stuff. Let's call this mean and risk.